Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 12, Lord Luo Feng. Chapter 443 Targeting Yuan. 18th of Volume 12. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. In the void of the Southern River Territory, a palace floated in midair, where the main combat clones of the 8 lords patiently awaited. Within the vast palace, Luo Feng and Lord Jin were drinking together. The Xuanhuan ancestors of both major factions are gathering, Lord Jin said, holding his wine cup. The gathering of the Xuanhuan ancestors was, of course, impossible to hide from the 8 lords. 2 major factions have united against our practitioner faction, Luo Feng nodded, they are our greatest enemies. Only by defeating them can we hope to permanently dominate all origin worlds. Permanently dominate all origin worlds. Lord Jin murmured, I never thought the day would come when the practitioner faction could truly protect all practitioners. Lord Jin smiled at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, when I became a lord, the practitioner faction only consisted of Brother Yuan and me. Back then, we were so weak, and our environment was also very harsh. Over 90% of the creatures in the origin worlds of our territory were food, and we didn't dare oppose them. Brother Yuan did everything he could to nurture the next generation. I also tried to find the most exceptional successors. Lord Jin looked at Luo Feng. Throughout the entire infinite Xuanhuan space, everyone else is a Xuanhuan ancestor. Only Brother Yuan and I were cultivated from creatures of the origin worlds. Do you know what that feels like? Luo Feng understood. Even now, practitioner lords and Xuanhuan ancestors could sense their differences. However, with 8 lords now powerful enough to rival them, all factions had to tread carefully. I disdain Brother Yuan clinging to the Ice Peak faction's coattails, Lord Jin said, as an immortal being, I have no need to curry favor with them. Yet Brother Yuan was so obsessed with gaining their favor that he dragged me into their conflicts. Through the Ice Peak faction, we could expand our territories and reduce external threats. But even then, Mo Guc continued to devour the souls of origin world creatures, and the Infinite Serpent clan was also feasting. What could we even do? Brother Yuan and I were merely 2 lords. How could we provoke the foremost clan of Xuanhuan lifeforms, the Infinite Serpent clan? I wanted to openly declare war on them. But Brother Yuan forbidden it. If we had broken ties, our territories would have been swiftly annihilated, and we had no way to invade the infinite world. Open conflict would have only leave us worse off. Lord Jin continued, we endured and cultivated alliances. Brother Yuan had many influential friends, like the 12 immortal beings of the Ice Peak faction. In terms of influence, the Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor ranked first, and Brother Yuan second. Even someone who hadn't joined the Ice Peak faction had an influence second only to the Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor. Lord Jin sighed, my foul temper pales in comparison. I didn't have even a single friend in the Ice Peak faction. All I could do was find ways to nurture the next generation. Whatever method works, as long as it produces a lord, is the best method. Lord Jin looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, while I don't agree with some of your ideas, I truly admire you. Because you have changed the entire practitioner faction, and now we even have a chance to unify all the origin worlds. Lord Jin gazed at Luo Feng. He disapproved of Luo Feng's methods, yet he revered the law of the jungle, survival of the fittest. Luo Feng was the fittest. Moreover, Luo Feng's tremendous support for his companion's strength had led to the entire faction's complete transformation following his breakthrough. Because of the accumulated efforts of the 7 senior figures before me, we have achieved this transformation, Luo Feng said. The practitioner faction's deterrent power relied on the 8 lords. Relying solely on himself would be far from enough. Haha. Lord Jin raised his cup. Luo Feng also raised his cup. Though their philosophies differed, their shared goal was to unify all the origin worlds, ensuring that beings from these worlds would no longer be devoured. This was a goal pursued by every lord. The mass consumption of origin world beings was the greatest shame of every lord. Yuan and Lord Xingmang sat together. Mo Guc is rapidly regaining his strength within the infinite world, Lord Xingmang said. I clearly sense him growing more powerful by the moment, but since he is hidden within the infinite world, there's nothing I can do. The infinite world, home to numerous Xuanhuan ancestors and possessing the advantage of the mysterious land, made direct confrontation impossible. We'll have to wait until he emerges before we can engage, Yuan said calmly. Mo Guc definitely won't be able to resist dominating all the origin worlds. We've been mortal enemies for countless years. Mo Guc is the most powerful entity on the soul path within the infinite Xuanhuan space, Lord Xingmang reminded them solemnly. If he gains the support of a group of Xuanhuan ancestors skilled in the soul path, the threat will become truly terrifying. After all, the soul is the fundamental essence of life. This was a truth known to every lord. However, cultivating the soul path was extraordinarily difficult, as it lacked the guidance of a great Tao. The sheer difficulty far surpassed other paths, and to this day, no living being had ever reached the ultimate God-King realm through the soul path. Mo Guc has been fighting against us for too long, and he knows you very well, Lord Xingmang said. You and Luo Feng are the two key points of our entire faction, but Mo Guc knows little about Luo Feng, and Luo Feng has even conquered the 34th layer of the Abyss of Destruction. Mo Guc likely doesn't have confidence in dealing with Luo Feng. Based on my calculations, there's over a 90% chance he will target you instead. Yuan smiled faintly. Don't worry. He has allied with a group of Xuanhuan ancestors skilled in the soul path. The power of these soul-based techniques is unpredictable, Lord Xingmang said, his voice tinged with concern. Yuan gazed into the endless void, his voice calm. I've been waiting for this day for too long. No one can stop me. Lord Xingmang watched him silently. Yuan turned to Lord Xingmang, a grin spreading across his face. Don't worry. Trust me. They'll bash their heads against me and bleed. Lord Xingmang nodded slightly. The 8 lords sensed the fluctuating auras of the Xuanhuan ancestors and patiently waited. Time passed. Throughout the infinite Xuanhuan space, the Ancient Ones awaited the impending battle that would decide the fate of countless origin worlds. They are here. Yuan, Lord Jin, Lord Wu Lan, Lord Mingwang, Lord Negu, Lord Xingmang, Lord Momen, and Luo Feng stood in the void, silently observing the scene before them. Boom. The void ahead of them naturally rifted open, as if the veil of time-space had been drawn back, revealing 82 terrifying figures descending simultaneously. Leading the group were 14 immortal realm beings, the infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor, Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor, Shazhou, Wu Jin Xuanhuan ancestor, Mo Guc, and 68 other selected Xuanhuan ancestors. It was worth noting that the Eternal Land currently had only 30 members, yet 22 of them were participating in this conflict. Brother Yuan. Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor called out coldly, we've known each other long enough. I never thought we'd reach this point. This is all because you practitioner lords are too domineering. We Xuanhuan lifeforms are origin world devourers by nature. Yet you insist on forcibly seizing all origin worlds, which is a humiliation to all Xuanhuan ancestors. Yuan glanced at Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor, then at Shazhou beside him. Dressed in gray robes, Shazhou stood with an impassive expression. I understand you wish to devour the origin world, Yuan said calmly, nodding, but we are practitioners, and as long as we have the strength, we will naturally resist. Practitioners don't ask for much, only the ability to survive and propagate. We've already pledged that as long as you don't devour the origin world, we will never expand. Yet even this is unacceptable to you. Then there is only war. The two sides stared at each other. One side consisted of 82 Xuanhuan ancestors, slightly fewer than the 89 sent by the innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction last time, but their overall strength was greater. 9 more immortal realm beings existed among them, and some weaker factions had gone to great lengths to invite exceptionally powerful Xuanhuan ancestors. The other side comprised 8 practitioner lords, each with strength ranking among the top 20. Since negotiations are fruitless, let strength decide, the infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor said, his eyes cold as ice. As soon as he finished speaking, the 82 Xuanhuan ancestors struck. Various protective and life-saving formations were in place, including the 3 sovereigns of the Wind Thunder Sea. Though their direct combat strength was among the weakest among the immortal realm beings, their defensive capabilities were exceptionally strong. Apart from a few exceptional beings like Lord Momen who could counter them, most Xuanhuan ancestors were powerless against them. Even Lord Momen could only temporarily obliterate their physical forms, they remained immortal, capable of reforming their bodies. At this moment, the 3 of them were merely components of a grand formation, collaborating with a multitude of Xuanhuan ancestors to construct it. The sheer depth and complexity of this formation were naturally terrifying. Boom. Rumble. Amidst the overwhelming barrage of attacks, Mo Guc led his subordinates, the Nirvana Xuanhuan ancestor, the Thousand-Eyed Xuanhuan ancestor, the Xingluo Xuanhuan ancestor, the 10,000 tentacled dragon matriarch, the Nightmare Xuanhuan ancestor, and the Dreamweaver, in a combined attack. On the soul path, Mo Guc stood alone at the pinnacle, while the remaining 6 were considered second level. These 7 had never joined forces before in the vast expanse of time. Now, under the pressure of the 8 lords, 7 Xuanhuan ancestors from both major factions and minor powers combined their efforts. Buzz. The soul technique moved soundlessly and inexorably, enveloping Yuan. This attack targeted only Yuan. Yuan, who had been orchestrating the formation, seamlessly coordinating the power of the other 7 lords to counter the enemy attack, suddenly stood frozen, his eyes vacant, having completely relinquished control of the formation. What's happening? Lord Wu Lan exclaimed in alarm. Not good. Luo Feng and the other 7 lords felt their hearts tremble. The 7 lords each excelled in their own unique Dao, but they knew little of their companions' Dao. perfectly coordinating all the lords. Dao was something none of them could achieve alone. Without Yuan, the seven lords were like scattered sand, capable only of simple coordination. Their combined strength plummeted immediately, the battle formation's power dwindling to roughly 30% of its original power. Boom. Rumble. Facing the overwhelming onslaught of terrifying attacks, the seven lords, now without Yuan's coordination, suddenly felt immense pressure. The battle formation teetered on the brink of collapse. Damn it. Lord Wu Lan, positioned at the forefront, was already pushing himself to the limit to block the attacks. But without the formation's coordination, too many techniques slipped past him. Luo Feng, his black robes billowing with red embroidered patterns, also strained to assist. The robe, woven from the power of galaxy territory and the power of chaos destruction realm, resisted the external attacks with all its power. Yet some of the Xuanhuan ancestors' techniques were simply too evasive, impossible to intercept. Xingmang, what do we do? Lord Momen urgently transmitted his thoughts. His fluctuations rippled outward, desperately weakening the enemy attacks. But no matter how profound his methods were, the combined power of the 82 Xuanhuan ancestors was overwhelming, their power crushing everything in its path. Xingmang, what should we do? Lord Jin urgently transmitted. At this moment, Lord Xingmang was observing numerous future branches, searching for a solution. Boom. Luo Feng's main combat clone ignited, deploying his blade technique, but this time, he was solely focused on defense. Take Yuan and retreat at full speed, Lord Xingmang decided decisively, we can't hold out. We need to endure until Yuan regains consciousness. Otherwise, we won't be able to fight. Luo Feng could keep his companions at their peak performance, frequently unleashing forbidden techniques with his own formidable strength. This could double the entire battle formation's power. But Yuan's Xuanhuan rule circulation path could multiply the formation's power 3 to 4 times. Without Yuan, the lords stood no chance. They were already on the verge of collapse after the first clash. Go. Luo Feng's main combat clone burned, its terrifying power sweeping up all his companions. Lord Xingmang, Lord Momen, Lord Mingwang, Lord Jin, Lord Negu, and Lord Wu Lan coordinated their strength with Luo Feng's. In that moment, all the lords transformed into a single, colossal blade, with Luo Feng's blood shadow blade as its edge. The razor-sharp edge tore through the sky, cleaving all obstacles in its path. Do you think you can escape? On the Xuanhuan ancestors' side, they wielded over 20 highest-level powers, each capable of blocking and restraining Luo Feng and his companions. These included Void Power, Infinite World Power, Time-Space Control, Power of Endless Ice, Power of the Void Sea, Dark Clouds, and more. These 12 highest-level powers were working together to restrain Luo Feng and his companions. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.